am a senior writer at Live Science, and I am talking about Star Wars today because it is Star Wars Day, and that is awesome. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking about some of the amazing wildlife in the movie The Last Jedi. The first one we're going to talk about today is a critter called the fathier. This is an animal that we meet on the Casino World Canto Bight. One of the things that they do is they race these animals and they bet on them. And fathiers are kind of like racehorses. They're big, they're four-legged, but there's some elements about them that are kind of like lions or kind of like dogs or cats. They have these really small, cute faces, and they've got these big eyes and these long, droopy ears, and they look really sad. It seems like they're most like the racehorses that we know here that are also trained to run around a track. Horses, because they've been domesticated for so long, they've been bred to suit our purposes. So that means that people have controlled the way that horses breed with each other to magnify certain traits that we think are valuable. So the fathiers are probably very much the same way. At one point they may have lived in the wild on this planet, but at this point this species has been shaped by people in terms of how they've been bred to magnify the kind of traits that make them good runners around a track. Another one of the new worlds that we're introduced to in The Last Jedi is Crate. Now, this is a planet that, at least the part of it we see, is covered with a layer of salt crystals. And one of the animals that we meet that seems to be native to this planet is, it looks like a fox made of crystals. The crystal foxes are called Vulptex, or I guess the plural is Vulptices, according to StarWars.com. It looks like it's covered with a layer of crystals. Now, this might seem a little weird because it's, if it's like a fox, then it's probably a mammal, and aren't mammals usually covered with hair? Well, not necessarily. There are some mammals that are covered with things that are not quite hair-like. And in fact, the kinds of coats that mammals have usually have a lot to do with where in the world they live. So probably there is some evolutionary reason why these foxes have this crystal-like coat. And that might have something to do with the geography of the planet. So if they're living someplace where the landscape is covered with salt crystals and they need to camouflage themselves, then it probably makes sense for them to have some kind of a coat that will help them blend into this landscape. There's a type of fox called the Arctic fox, which looks kind of like the crystal foxes in that it's white, but physically it's very, very different. It lives in really, really cold environments, so it has short legs and really, really small ears. But it does have this beautiful white coat of fur, very much like the crystal foxes have their white crystal coat, and it also helps this fox camouflage itself against the snow and on sea ice against predators. The porgs. The porgs are, I think, arguably they are the rock stars of that movie in terms of the new creatures, because they're so charming and they're so adorable. One of the most amazing things about the porgs is that they were kind of an accidental addition to the movie. The filmmakers decided that they were going to shoot at this island called Skellig Michael, which is part of Ireland, which is a protected island because it is home to many puffins. And puffins, of course, are these little birds with the very colorful faces. So they created this amazing character design that is based on the puffin body. It uses the same kind of, they have the same basic body shape with, the little wings and the big bellies, and they're very small and close to the ground. But they completely reinvented the faces so that they don't look like birds. They have a sort of a bird-like look to them, but they don't have beaks, and they gave them, bigger forward-facing eyes, which of course makes things automatically much cuter. Obviously, there are a lot more creatures in The Last Jedi that we could talk about, but those are definitely my 3 favorite ones. And those are the ones that I want to share today. May the 4th be with you.